Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What a great pleasure to be here in the sort of dragon's den of Make UK conference. Here we are, each of us pitching our particular proposition. But to start with an introduction, my name is Laura Sands. I am chair of Electrify Industry, which is an offshoot of Make UK. I'm also considered by some as an energy geek. So I hope I will not use one piece of sort of jargon or acronyms, so you're on there. Now, I'm here really to call on all manufacturers. Electrification is going to be one of the most important routes to not just decarbonize your processes, but actually modernize your plant, your activities. And I just wanted to start with a couple of facts. And that is that 70% of all companies have registered the fact that electrification is going to be their route to decarbonisation. And there are some quite clear reasons for why electrification is the first route that you should be looking at. Technology. Electrification of 90% of processes is already there. It exists. The technology is there, it is proven, and it is in the market already. I love our guys from hydrogen and CCS, etc. But this is still quite a long way away before you can actually start to implement. So the technology is, as one Prime Minister said, oven ready, although I don't think his social care policy was actually oven ready. So there we have the clear technology proposition. The second is the competitive advantage. Global companies with some very, very large international companies are putting aside quite serious levels of investment into the electrification of their plants and processes. We in the UK must be able to capture that opportunity and that investment. What I'm concerned about is that they might start both, of course, modernising, but also decarbonising their processes in other parts of the world. And we are at the bottom of the list when it comes to electrification. So we need this investment from a competitive point of view. And the last point about why electrification, and that is the majority, not all, but the majority of processes are more efficient through electrification. We must address our productivity gap in the UK, but we must also improve your margins. So we need to get more from less, and electrification is one of the key platforms. So Electrify Industry has been set up to promote this, to support industries and companies to actually move through this process. And we have some challenges in this country. So I would like anybody to put up their hands to say, do we think electricity prices are too expensive in the UK? Oh, wonderful. That's definitely 100%. So we have a massive problem when it comes to electricity prices. The most expensive in the OECD, with very little other than the supercharger program supporting industry. So what are we going to do, Electrify Industry? We've already engaged significantly with the government and the regulator. And we're seeing some quite serious movement in terms of some form of support to move people from fossil fuel to electrified processes. This is in embryonic stage at the moment, but they are extremely keen to move forward with this quickly. So I think we're in a very good space, and I wanted to do a bit of a call out to Daniel Patterson there, who has been very much spearheading this. So I think we've got a real opportunity to lean in and to get that. It will be called the decarbonisation switch, and money will come with that, including support on electricity prices. So that is good news. The second fun challenge that I'm sure you're all very aware of is that fabulous thing called grid connections. Grid connections, well, it's fascinating. I mean, there's a big grid reform that's going on at the moment. But what is that talking about? It's talking about energy assets, not about industries that employ lots of people, that are based in locations right across the country. This is a connection reform around batteries, fundamentally. So we've been able to absolutely make our case with the network companies, with the regulator, and with government to ensure that industry is at the front of the queue, not at the back of the line. And that is absolutely crucial because we are, in many ways, the customers of the energy sector. Not that they always like customers, it has to be said. However, we need to ensure that your businesses are allowed the connections that they need and the flexibility around what sort of connection. Maybe you want to do a bit of self-generation, which I think is an extremely exciting opportunity. There is £3 billion of investment, industrial investment, in this current grid pipeline. And we believe that there is a lot more in what you might call the invisible pipeline, because a lot of people are quite put off by the whole process because they've heard from friends like you. Whoa, I wouldn't go down that route because you're going to be 10 years before you can get a grid connection. But we're working on that. And the last area that we're absolutely focused on as an organisation, as a group, is markets. You need to be able to benefit from self-generation. If what you want to do is to do 50% self-generation, 50% grid, and you're exporting, you need to be active and participant in the energy markets. Now, none of you want to become energy geeks like me, that's for sure. I promise you that's exactly what my husband says. What we need is simple markets that are straightforward, that are designed around you, the customer, not designed around the energy sector, who expects all of us to become electrical engineers and super energy experts. So I am working very, very hard with Daniel and the team at Make UK to turn the energy system into a much more of a service-orientated system that is looking out for your interests. There is also a huge amount of opportunity for flexibility and quite a lot of payments that you should be able to access. So this is where we feel is the absolute key market for us to ensure that we get the electrification and, as I said, modernisation of our industrial base. I'm going to pitch to you that you should come and join Electrify Industry. It's a subgroup, as I said, of Make UK. Daniel Patterson is the leading light, and I'm just merely the crowd raiser. But I think that what we need to do is for you to think about what your pathway is, join our group, and we will look to be able to deliver you lower prices, absolutely accessible grid, and also markets that can make you money from your own self-generation. Thank you very much.